Hey there, Heather. Oh, there's Jeff Coach. I welcome you to a brand new classic soccer tournament format. Now, this is the World Cup Nations Cup qualifying. So we're doing what we call Nations qualifying. So I can't remember the channel, but the guy did one fact for every World Cup nation who has qualified. And using that, I looked at the 80 um, nations that have at least appeared once, and he did say that like Croatia and Bosnia, for example, part of Yugoslavia would get their own thing, and Yugoslavia would not get a thing. All that, like all the Soviet Union, Russia did get one, but of course they're separate from the Soviet Union in a sense. So what ends up happening is that I decided to do 80 nations, but I decided to do it like 4 times 20 rule. So I would do an equal tournament. I was thinking about doing 10 tournaments of 8, but then I said 4 terms of 20. That would be impressive. What would end up happening, of course, would be like 12 teams would go to the Sweet 16, and then 8 teams will fight randomly to get into the Sweet 16. So, excuse me. So, yeah, so I took like the 80 nations and the one team per. And what I did was, well, of course, match it to like the one fact about the great and all that. So we're doing one and we're starting in New York. So the 1954 squads. So here are the 54 squads that are in Austria, because I don't think they did anything better than 54 when they did fantastic. Hungary, part of the magical Magyars. Why wouldn't I? And Switzerland, who I think did a little bit better, but yeah, 54 was different. It's weird. The Austro-Hungary um, alliance. So they're in Group A, alongside the two teams 1970, which would be Brazil. I mean, the greatest Brazilian team of all time. And also, who else makes it for 1970? Israel. The only time that they went to the World Cup, so they get a chance. Then we go to the 1990 thing for 3 of them. And first off is Cameroon with the magical swinging competition goal celebrations by one Roger Milla, and they almost sent England packing in the quarterfinals. They were up 2-1, but Lineker took a couple penalties. When the game, Cameroon got robbed. This is good for an England fan. Who else is for 1990? The Republic of Ireland, who shocked everyone by beating Romania in the first knockout game and got to the quarters against Italy, but they lost. And the United Arab Emirates, the only time that country's been in. Um, 2006. Yeah, 2006 got drawn in, and they got 6 of these things. Angola, the only time they've been to the World Cup. Australia, like they should have beaten Italy in the knockout stages, but that dumb penalty at the butt end of it. Ecuador, their best performance, 06. Togo, Trinidad and Tobago, both good matches. Trinidad almost sent England packing. But that, one more. Where's the other 16? Ukraine. That's it. Ukraine with their best moments. Ukraine. And then we got 22. The 4 teams from 2022 got drawn in. And first of all is my home and nation native land, Canada. And then who else from 2022 did well? Qatar. The only time Qatar was in the World Cup. Of course, they hosted it and got in by illegal means. Fight me on it. Morocco, who became the first African nation to get to the semifinals, and they put up a clinic. Actually, Canada was the last goal scorer against Morocco, and for 2 knockout stages till the semifinals. So, like, Canada for a while was like, yeah, with Nihon 2022, I gave them the chance, and that's it. It's one more. There's gotta be one more. I wrote 4 down. Where's the other one? Tell me, do. Japan, Morocco. Oh, I already did. Oops. Sorry. Okay, and then we're gonna do the two teams from 1938. That'd be Cuba and Indonesia, aka the Dutch West Indies. Dutch East Indies. What am I thinking? Yeah, Cuba and Dutch East Indies, aka Indonesia. So 20 nations. So if I'm looking at this right, excuse me, the 54 Magyars, the 70 Brazilians are in there. Who else has been a great team? And Morocco. So there's not really any heavy favorites. So I'm gonna set up this way. If you make the, I'm gonna do a 32 country final tournament. If you must know. So we're gonna have the top 8. So if you win your round of 16 matchup, you're in the quarterfinals no matter what. All right, here we go. Right, Cuba, Dutch West Indies, 25. Preliminary draw. Now everything's random. So first off, we have 54 Switzerland, and they will take on the 1938 Indonesian team. Okay. Next, 2006 Trinidad and Tobago against Qatar. Ooh, interesting. Canada. Come on, good team. Ukraine. That's 2006 Ukraine. Okay. I think we could do that. And 2022 Morocco. Wow, they got Lundra had to face Austria. Wow. Now let's see. Well, I am Canadian and I don't trust Ukraine. So I'm going to switch Ukraine and Trinidad. So I'm allowed one switch. And I'm going to switch Ukraine to face Qatar and Canada to face Trinidad. Here we go. All right, so it's too late. Everything's too late. And all that. Canada ties Trinidad. We have to win in Trinidad. Morocco crushes Austria in the fine powder 3-0, so looks good for them. Switzerland crushes the East Indies 5-0, and Ukraine wins 1-0. So Morocco is practically going to win. Well, they tied 2-2, but it doesn't matter. They had it in the bag. Switzerland wins 3-1, so they're in. So Morocco, Switzerland. Ukraine wins 1-0. Told you it'd be good. Now we have to beat Trinidad. We have to beat Trinidad. Because if we don't beat Trinidad, we're in trouble. All for nothing. Yes! My plan worked. Alfonso Davies scores. It's true. John got red carded. Yippee! I know, I know. You think you cut your douchebag. Well, I only can make one switch per round. Qatar's out and Trinidad out. I figured that Canada deserved the better team. All right. So now we have to draw for the round of 16. First country is Ireland, 1990, the team that beat Romania on penalty kicks and then faced Italy and got beaten. They take on Cameroon. Ooh, this will be interesting. Roger Milla and company. 2006 Ecuador. Okay, they take on 1990 Emirates. That should be an interesting matchup. Angola. They take on Hungary. Oh, Angola drew the worst possible outcome, the 54 Magical Magyars. We are playing 2022 Morocco, my ass. I think I'm going to switch them up. Yeah, I'm going to give Morocco the Magical Magyars and Canada. Actually, no, that would be fair. When I did the switch with Ukraine, I gave them an easy win. I'm going to give them Emirates. Yeah, I'm going to give them the Emirates and Ecuador versus Hungary. All right. 26 Ukraine, you get Nihon. Okay, so that should be an interesting one. 1938 Cuba will take on 1974. So, oh man, and I did my one switch. 2006 Australia takes on 2006 Togo. That could be interesting. And the 1970 Australians take on the 1954 Swiss. Okay, so those are my matchups. All right. So yeah, I know. It's like, Jeff. Well, I wanted to switch. Oh, and Angola would have faced Hungary, but I'm like, no, I got to give them equal opportunities. So I gave Morocco the Emirates and gave Ecuador Hungary. First leg, Ireland wins 2-0. Sheedy with a pair. Wow. Morocco crushes Emirates in Divine Powder. Hungary crushes Ecuador in Divine Powder. We beat Angola. Yay. 1-0. We got a good draw. Ukraine and Nihon tied. Brazil crushes Cuba in Divine Powder 6-0. Australia beats Togo 3-2. Boy, that was a close one. Togo was up 2-0. And Israel. What? Wow. I didn't think that was going to happen. Okay, Cameroon are, well, Morocco's up 4-0 and 2-0 also. So Emirates is out of luck. And good news, that means the 2023 Moroccans are in the World Cup, are in the 32 team tournament. Hungary was up 4-0 and another 3-0 with Ecuador is KO'd. And so the Magical Magyars are in the 32 team playdown. Canada and Angola will be later. Brazil crushed Cuba in the fine powder. Cuba just had a bad draw, and I could only make one move. So the 1970 Brazilians are in. Israel up 4-1. They can't choke. Well, they gave up a goal. The bad news is they gave up a goal. The good news for Israel is that they actually were up by 3. So Israel is in the round of 32. Unreal, but that's the truth. And I can only make one change. All right, so we are going to. I'm too nervous for Canada and Angola. We're going to do that at the end. Now, we're going to go Cameroon, Ireland. We're going to go second half. Actually, I also have control. Both teams are wearing green, so I have to change one color. We're going to simulate to the end of the first half. And it's no score. Ireland up 2-0. Okay, let's go to 10 minutes. So no scores, so it looks good for Ireland. Get himself a yellow for a foul. So we're gonna auto view and see if Ireland can hang on against Cameroon. Magic. Ireland do it. Ireland just played the keeper that night. Minutes of time, looks like Ireland has backwards. So that's it. Full time. Ireland sat back and played defense, and it worked. The Irish eyes are smiling. Cameroon shockingly is killed. All right, let's head to Japan as they play Ukraine. First half sees Nihon up 2-0. Looks good for Japan. 10 minutes to the end. It's 2-1. So Japan's not out of the woods yet with Ukraine. So we'll see what adds up after these games. Double check out for Milevski. Ready to go. Well, tell like defense. Now Ukraine does tie. They actually win because of goals, away goals. At a time. The all gotta do something great. Full time, Nihon Kachi. So Nihon gets their spot in 2-1. Let's look at the numbers. Well, the goals were scored by Don, Ritsu Don, and Maeda. Tyson Maeda. Ukraine Shevchenko scored the penalty, but that was it. Nihon Kachi. So they'll move on to the thing. Togo versus Australia. That's a tough one to pick up. Australia could choke. So could Togo. End of the half, it was no score. To the final 10 minutes, it is Australia going to win this one. Togo. There's the breaks, but the two SSC Aussies are in. They are happy. And they win 2-0. Goals by Moore and John O'Lacey. He's like John O'Lacey, but the former F1 driver. Now, I'm too nervous about Canada and Angola. Now, of course, I'll simulate it because of how nervous I am. I would love to see Canada win. Yes! Own goal. Yay! It worked. Canada Kachi. So we did it. We're in the quarterfinals. Now, the draw will be the draw. Now, this will actually set up. Now, this doesn't mean anything. Or does it? No, it does. I've been told that it does mean something because that means actually it means like the seeding, the pot seeding and all that. Yeah, for the 32 team tournament. And we will play it like a World Cup tournament. And then we'll just have the knockout stages anyway. right, 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 right. All right, here we go. The draw. We're gonna go auto. Brazil versus okay. Well, and this time I will not interfere. Israel, Ireland, Australia, Hungary, and Morocco, Japan. Okay, I will not interfere this time. I will not interfere. 7-1. At least we scored a goal. Israel beat Ireland. Wow. Hungary crushed Australia, and Morocco beating Japan 1-0. All right. Brazil up 7-1 and 4-0. So Canada gets embarrassed. I think I will give Canada 8th place, but at least we qualified. Ireland beats Israel 3-1. Sheedy on a penalty. If it wasn't for that, then Israel would have moved on to the semifinals and at least a top four finish. Hungary easily 11-1. Australia also got their asses whipped. But given how, they got to the knockout stage, Canada did not. And Japan, Morocco tie. So I am going to give Japan fifth, and six goes to Israel. So A6 is Israel, Japan. Hungary, Brazil. Wow. Morocco, Ireland. Wow. The draw actually has been kind to Morocco and Ireland. So we have the true final being the way it is. 2-2 tie, and Morocco beat Ireland 1-0. Morocco crushed Ireland in the fine powder to give them fourth place. I'm not going to do it third place. And Hungary, the magical Magyars, beat 70 Brazil. Wow, put them in third place. Well, we know where the final is. And the final is Hungary crushing Morocco 3-0 like a paper cup. So Hungary, the magical Magyars, will be A1. So it goes Hungary, Morocco, Brazil, Ireland, Japan, Israel, Australia, Canada. Those are the 8 countries and all that. So yeah, we had a few upsets at Canada. I know I screwed over Trinidad and Angola, but don't worry. The other 3, B, C, and D, I will make a swapper. I'll make a swap. I'll do swaps and all that. One swap so that I could get something going here. I will. Hand to God. Anyhow, I'm Jeff Diamond. Uh, do.